Time to change the game. It's Fins TV.
Dolphin fans, welcome to Fins TV. I'm your host, Sammy, aka Fins Post on Twitter, aka the Internet Champion, your party host, your DJ for today. And I want to introduce my first guest for today, Mr. Steve Hallett. Steve, welcome to the show.
Sammy, it is absolutely a pleasure to be here. First time doing this, and there's nobody I'd rather be doing it with. Looking forward to diving into this with you and seeing what we can do and have some fun.
That's
Talk
awesome.
some Dolphins.
That's awesome. We both love the Dolphins. I think it's gonna be a great year. I'm very hopeful. We're hopeful every single year, but especially this year. I think we're building something that's gonna be really special, and I'm glad we can share it with you and with everybody who watched this podcast today.
This is the year, Sammy. This is it. This is our year.
Hopefully, my man. Well,
it's your first episode, and we'll be talking again in a year, getting ready to defend our Super Bowl championship.
Amen,
okay,
man. Amen.
All right.
On this episode, Dalvin Cook flies to New York. His coach Mike McDaniel started back to work this season, and his Sweet Fangio still the league even after the loss of Jalen Ramsey. But we begin today with Uno, him, our tribal chief, the head of the table, Tua. Steve, I wanted to ask you, what do you think are realistic expectations for Tua this season?
The world. I want the world from Tua. I want it all. In reality, I mean, we saw it last year. When he's healthy, when he's on the field, there's nobody better than him.
Yeah.
Best quarterback rating. He was lights out. I don't expect 6 touchdown performances, but hopefully we don't need a 6 touchdown performance from him now with Vic Fangio and the revamped defense.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being realistic, I'd really like to see 4,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10, maybe 12 interceptions.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
We hit a peak last season with that touchdown pass, the opening play against the 49ers, and then we went through a really tough patch.
Man, every time I see that clip, I can remember jumping on the living room after that touchdown. I thought we were going to the Super Bowl. Honest, that was a great. I thought for sure we were going to the Super Bowl. There was no way after that touchdown we were going to the Super Bowl.
That was the peak. But I mean, to answer your question, I really expect him to improve. I expect him to stay healthy. I think he's going to make some better decisions this year, and I don't think it's too unrealistic to see him go over 4,500 yards, over 35 touchdown passes, and we'll see. What I expect. That's what I hope for, at least. Yeah,
every time you see an analyst, a pundit on TV, they say, "Well, the Dolphins are going to go far if Tua is healthy." I always say the same thing. Why will you not think he's going to be healthy? That the odds are 50-50. It's same with Lamar Jackson, same with Aaron Rodgers' health because of his age. Anything can happen. So you cannot assume that Tua is not going to be healthy. And they're kind of like, you can see like they're kind of fingers crossed so that he doesn't play the 17 games to say, oh, we were right. Tua is not durable. That's his Achilles heel. See, they're the same old Dolphins. But my expectation is that this year is gonna be different. I expect Tua to play 17 games to have a good, meaningful season. He's gonna get hurt, but he's gonna play hurt. So they're different of hurt. So I expect Tua to play this season. The other regime, you remember that famous game where he was out of the game against Houston for a finger? I went to that game, actually, saw live. Worst game ever. That was a horrible game that Flores never had any belief in him.
No, he didn't.
But he played hurt. So I see no reason why he doesn't have the courage to play. He did it in Alabama. I expect him to do it in Miami also.
Absolutely. Nope. I don't see why he definitely can't.
Yeah. Next topic is Dalvin Cook. He's now a property of the New York Jets. Steve, I wanted to take me off the ledge. I don't want to jump. I was hoping that this was going to be the year. For me, the Dolphins added Dalvin Cook, they will be the favorites in the AFC East. I'm not saying they're not, but as of right now, I don't feel as confident as I felt before. So tell me, take me off the ledge. What do you think about this?
So I'm in the Tampa Bay area. You're in Puerto Rico. If I was there in Puerto Rico, I'd give you a hug and tell you everything's going to be all right.
I will need that.
The bottom line is, first and foremost, we saw last year, and I really hope that Coach McDaniel learns his lesson, learns to run the ball more, doesn't just leverage the pass part of the play action or the RPO and really commits to the run. We saw Raheem Mostert last year, not the healthiest over his career, but last year was his healthiest. Last year he was lights out. He almost, what did he lead the league in yards per attempt at 4.9 yards?
Yeah.
All you got to do is give him the ball more. And I do think that strong teams late in the season need to run the ball well, but we can run the ball well. It just boils down to Coach McDaniel. And that's why I don't think that the team was going to go more than what they originally offered and given it, to get Dalvin Cook here. Did he want to play here? Yes. But he was really chasing that money. And I don't blame him. Aaron Rodgers restructured his contract. Everybody should have seen the writing on the wall right then. They freed up enough money to pay somebody to come in like Dalvin Cook. And the Jets, they need him. But let's focus on this here. So we've got 3 juggernaut teams and the Patriots in the AFC East. Cook is going to balance out a running back room over there that they really needed him between with our running back room, our vets, Ahmed and Gaskin, Wilson, he's not as healthy. Would really like to see a better year from him, but I don't have any real high hopes. And Mostert, but adding A-Chain to the game, I think is going to be really impressive. I was last Friday seeing how we ran the ball. I was impressed. I was really, really impressed with A-Chain running the ball. I was impressed. You can't just look at a single preseason game. I think we've had enough of our years of preseason all-stars and championships type situations with certain players just to see him not have an impact. But I really expect that there's a reason why Coach McDaniel wanted A-Chain on this team. And it wasn't to have him just sit the bench behind Dalvin Cook. We're going to be okay, Sam, really.
Well, personally, one of the reasons I wanted Dalvin Cook is that, as you know, Mike McDaniel was the offensive coordinator and run coordinator for the 49ers. For me, they went away from the running game way too much last season. Surge situations, they should have run the ball way too many times and they just passed the ball. So the feature back, the Dalvin Cook behind Tua Tagovailoa, there's a better chance for him to say, I'm going to give it to Dalvin Cook. I feel confident about this. And Dalvin's going to ask for that ball. He's going to ask for the rock. So if you have Mostert, he doesn't feel that compelled to run the ball. So I wanted that kind of feature back that will take that, put the pressure on my dad and say, I need to run the ball. I have the guy who can do it. So now with Mostert, with A-Chain, with Wilson, who I'm not big on, I can see McDaniel doing the same thing. He doesn't want that pressure. Maybe he didn't want the pressure. Maybe he didn't want that feature back that put the pressure on him and said, I have Tariq, I have Waddle, I'm going to throw it to those guys. Maybe McDaniel wanted Dalvin Cook, but didn't want the pressure of having a Dalvin Cook in the backfield. The responsibility of, a superstar running back that I have to give the ball to, or not, he's going to be pissed. If there were incentives on the table, that's the guy's money. He want the ball because that's his money. So when you think about it, maybe McDaniel and Greer knew that was going to be a problem and said, well, we're going to give you $4 million, $5 million, that's it. We're not going to put any incentives. They're going to put pressure on anyone. And Dalvin Cook wanted his money. Understandable, because the life of the running back is way shorter. And they're not making as much money as they used to. So I can understand Dalvin Cook's point of view. That's not the problem at all.
And I mean, go back a couple months ago. I think we all heard that Dalvin didn't want to be a running back by committee. He wants to be that feature running back. He's going to get that opportunity in New York because they've got a less than stellar coming back from injury running back room. It's going to be a while before they get their running back room even healthy. There's no telling if Dalvin Cook's even going to stay healthy, you know? So take into consideration, he wanted the money. New York gave him the money. He wanted a bigger role. New York is going to give him a bigger role. And like you said, you know, McDaniel is a pass first quarterback. You know, in many cases they say a good running game opens it up for the passing game. McDaniel and Miami seem to do it the other way around. Our passing game opens it up for the running game, and we've got the team to do that. Yeah, everything's going to be good with it.
Well, hopefully, because for me, the Jets are, when they lost Breece Hall last year, even with Zach Wilson, who was just horrible, but you can see they were a good team running ball. Breece Hall was a great back. He ran like a Pro Bowl kind of guy, like a franchise running back. As soon as he went down, they were not the same.
No, and they could say that Breece Hall is going to be ready week one, but I mean, how many times do you see running backs or even wide receivers try to come back from a knee injury like that?
I'm not even sure Dalvin Cook's going to be ready for them week one.
Yeah, so we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So
we'll find out. We're going to face him two times this year.
Hopefully, you're right. We'll be okay.
Absolutely.
But I am telling you right now, that back there is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not. I'm not going to.
I got to tell you something, man. When I think about Mike McDaniels, the coach, I don't want to be excessive because I'm serious and I'm not joking. I don't like listening to this man. I have an attitude when I hear him speak because to me, it's unconscionable how you let Tua Tagovailoa on that field against the Cincinnati Bengals last year after watching him be concussed in that game Sunday. I don't give a damn what he says. He has, I mean, I'm talking about in terms of the veracity of the words coming out of his mouth. I just don't believe a damn thing he says with sincerity. And listen, if I saw him in his face, I'd be like, I apologize, but that's just how I feel about him. And I'd look him dead in his face and that's how I feel about you, sir. Because we all watched Tua on that Sunday against Buffalo. And we all watched how discombobulated he was. And to literally sit there and know what concussion protocol is, and it's a minimum of 6 days, and you got to be evaluated and stuff like that. And then to have him out on that field, it almost got him killed, man. And he had to get carted off and hospitalized and all of this other stuff. And then he comes back weeks later. And then we find out after another game, he's concussed that following Monday. Nobody noticed it while it was on the field that they were playing. But suddenly the next day, we going to find out he's concussed and he can't go. And this man comes up with every explanation under the sun. So I don't give a damn about martial arts classes and you learning how to fall and all of this other stuff. Not from him. If Tua is saying it, I'm down for it. I got it. If your martial arts teacher said it, I'm down for it. Now, I don't know how that's going to help you when you hit from the blind side. I don't know how that's going to help you when you don't see a hit coming and all of a sudden you get your head snapped because somebody's ready to break your chest or cave your chest in. But I don't want to hear from their coach. I don't believe, I'm not questioning the man's football knowledge. I'm not questioning the fact that he's a damn good football coach. Yeah. It appears to be. But when he starts talking about other things, sort of elevating our level of confidence and assurances as to the health of a player and what he's learning, my response is for him to shut the hell up and just coach the team. We don't believe what you say. Because after what happened to your quarterback last year, Tua Tagovailoa was concussed 4 times last year. 4 times. Yep. All I'm looking at is I'm praying that the brother's healthy. And by the way, last thing, I interviewed Nick Saban on my podcast months ago. Nick Saban was worried about Tua.
So you've heard the comments of Stephen A. a couple of weeks ago, his criticism of McDaniel. I have some reservation about Mike McDaniel's style, but I wanted to know your thoughts first.
First of all, it's Stephen A. Smith. What he's going to say, he's sensationalist. He's a little bit too Colin Cowherd for me, but a lot more actually opinionated. He quickly took an angle of, I don't like the way he talks, and then spent the entire segment talking about how he thinks that Mike McDaniel himself solely basically provided malpractice to Tua Tagovailoa with his concussion. He didn't. Do I think that there were certain times and certain things that Mike McDaniel handled different, poorly last year? Absolutely. His clock management was horrible. His ability to get the ball, the play calls in a timely manner, horrible. I don't. I think that Stephen A. Smith there went in with an agenda that he just wanted to try to get his opinion across. I don't get the feeling that Stephen A. Smith really cares for Tua, because if this was some quarterback that he did like, he would have just gone in a totally different angle of praising. And but in any case, Coach McDaniel, do I have some, sometimes he's at the mic and at the podium and I hear him talking, and I just sometimes wish he cut the banter, be straight up. Sometimes he wants to be a little bit too quippy and punny with his words and everything. But again, Stephen A. Smith's segment there wasn't about Coach McDaniel and the way he talks. Again, I don't like listening to Stephen A. Smith talk. You know what I do? I turn the dial. I turn it off. I don't even turn it on TV. But it's Coach McDaniel's got a unique style. I think we've seen every different across the entire spectrum of coaches over the past decade and a half of, in Miami. And the bottom line for us as fans is he getting results? Is he getting better? What improvements is he going to make year over year? And, the next topic coming up on Coach Fangio, I think that he is going to be our Wade Phillips, as Wade Phillips was to Coach McVay in LA. I think that those young coaches need that veteran that around them. And I think that McDaniel is going to get better in every facet of the game. And I can't wait to see it.
I think we have some good talent in some positions. We need to find guys to be able to execute and play good in all 11 positions, and we're working to get that done. So we're not a finished product by any means, but I do like where we're headed.
Okay, our next topic is defensive coordinator Big Fangio. Big Fangio was a big get of the offseason. We won the Big Fangio sweepstakes. We were on the edge of our seats for a couple of weeks with the media saying he was to San Francisco, or maybe with Sean Payton back to Denver. Yeah, but he said first he agreed to Miami to a deal with Miami. Then he took it back to the reporter. After that, we added Jalen Ramsey, perennial Pro Bowler, great all-around player. But after he went down, first week of the training camp, my question to you, Steve, and I want to know what you think about this, because I've given a lot of thought to this, is after the loss of Jalen Ramsey, do you believe that the Dolphins still have an elite defense, a top 5, top 10 kind of defense, even after the loss of Jalen Ramsey with the addition of Big Fangio?
Okay, so yes, and here's why. I mean, before we even picked up Jalen Ramsey in a transaction that nobody saw coming, it was the Tyreek Hill transaction of 2023 offseason, and nobody saw it coming. The moment it came down, everybody was excited, but we got Vic Fangio. I mean, what did we lose from our defense? We lost to Landon Roberts. Let me know who else we lost. I think, we lost a defensive tackle. Everybody else is coming back. It's not the same system. We've got Xavier Howard X. He's ready to prove all the haters wrong. I really think that this defense, we've got Kader Kohu coming back for his second season. He's ready to take that next step from what, in my opinion, was one of the best rookie campaigns out of cornerback. If Sauce Gardner doesn't exist, he has the best season of any rookie cornerback last year, full season, full picture.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've got Williams or Wilkins and Sealer. They're hungry to make paydays next year. I think that this defense is really going to step up. So, I mean, are we a top 5 defense? Here's what I think. Turnover differential. 2 years ago, we were almost tops in the league in turnover differential. Last year, we were second to last. The biggest difference, I think, for what makes this a top defense is if we can force those turnovers. Something we haven't been able to do in a couple of years. I think if we can do that, and I think we will, we're going to be a top defense.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried, but anything better than Josh Boyer. So if you I remember Will Scott from Chat Sports used to call it third and Boyer. You know, when the Dolphins were on 3rd and 13, and we got it. And they got the first down. They used to call it third and Boyer.
Third and Boyer.
Third
I
and
have
Boyer.
not heard that. That is so true.
We used to go crazy watching those games with the third and Boyer.
I think we've all wanted to break stuff. I'm sure some of the Dolphins fans have broken stuff on those 3rd and 18s and knowing that we're going to get the ball back.
That year was just horrible.
You know,
that kind of scenario,
extremely frustrating. And I mean, I'm not a student of the game like a lot of people are. I don't go out. I'm not a film junkie that goes out and watches to see Vic Fangio's tendencies. I hear that he likes to run a lot of zone, and I think we're gonna have some frustrations this year. You know, we have a cornerback in Xavier Howard who seems to thrive in man coverage. So when we're stepping back into zone, I think we're going to see a little bit of frustrations where quarterbacks can pick those defenses apart and get little gains. And the key is just going to be forcing them into 3rd down, stopping them on that 3rd down, and then get the ball back. You know, it's I'm excited to see what Vic is going to bring to the team, and with the defense is with the up and comers we have, Phillips and Chubb. I think we've got a really good chance of being a top defense, Sam.
Yeah, I saw a Patriots fan last week who said that Bill O'Brien was a bigger get for the Patriots than Big Fangio was for the Dolphins.
I actually kind of almost have to agree with that, because what did they have last year? I mean, who was their offensive coordinator? Behind his pencil, Patricia? You know, a defensive person they threw back there to say, hey, learn how to, run the offense. From a net gain, I would definitely agree with that. But with the body of work that Miami has on this defense, adding Vic Fangio to that, it's just absolutely incredible. And when Ramsey does come back healthy, and he is going to come back, I think it's going to be absolutely incredible to watch that defense play.
I think Jalen Ramsey is going to surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to come back earlier than expected.
Hopefully not too early. I don't want to see him rush it out and get hurt again. Hopefully they just make the right choices, but I'll be excited to see him.
I like the fact that Cam Smith has shown a lot early. Also, that helps the fact that Jalen Ramsey is not in a hurry to come back soon. I have no confidence in Eli Apple for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons, but I think he can, hold the place for a while.
Well, Nick Needham's, but I think that I haven't seen too much flash about him, and I've heard that there's a good chance he might start on the PUP this year. But again, if we can avoid any of those catastrophic long-term injuries for our defensive backfield, maybe keep Ramsey until he's 100% healthy. Nick Needham, get him back. Again, hopefully Kohu can continue to step up. And I'll tell you right now, hopefully the shoulder injury for Cam Smith isn't that bad, because I have to tell you, he was extremely impressive in that opening preseason game. It was really something else to see his ability to stick with the receivers and break on the ball to make those pass breakups. So
he's a gambler.
I'm really looking forward to him.
But he's kind of a gambler. You saw the game. He likes to gamble. Hopefully it pays off, but he's kind of a gambler.
Yeah. Well, he's young. I mean, it's going to happen. The safeties, didn't even mention the safeties. Javon Holland, Brandon Jones. I cannot wait to see Brandon Jones back on the field.
I'm a huge Brandon Jones believer. Hopefully he goes back 100%.
Yep. And Deshaun Elliott bringing another veteran presence into the safety room. Hopefully if Cam Smith, when he gets healthy, if he ends up making any of those gambling plays, he does it when he's got Holland or Jones or Elliott back there to kind of help him, bail him out if he gets into trouble. We're in good hands with Fangio. Ramsey comes back again. It's just going to be the icing on the cake.
Okay, let's move this along. Are you ready for the Fins fight?
I'm ready for the Fins fight, Sam. Let's bring it.
Let's do it.
Sammy. Deep Hallett.
It's time for a Fins fight. Let's get the first one from Finbot over the loudspeaker.
Round 1. Number 3 wide receiver, bracket Max Tavarius, Chosen Anderson.
If I have to pick one, I'm going to take Berrios. I got to take Berrios because he's special teams. He's going to be our return man. He's going to be our feature. If we have to pick one, which we're not going to have to, Berrios is my guy.
I'm gonna go with Chosen Anderson. I have to. You should pick Barry, so I have to go with Chosen. I think he's up for the big year. I think Barry's gonna be great. He's good. Wells Welker is gonna, 2.0 hopefully. But I see Chosen is gonna give a dimension that he's gonna have some huge plays this year. Some long touchdowns, probably some huge plays. So I'm gonna go with Chosen in this one.
Round 2. Better home field advantage. Buffalo's Cold or Miami Heat?
First,
You can go ahead.
I'm gonna choose that better home field advantage is Buffalo's Cold, just because I hate the cold. And when those snowballs starts flying on Buffalo, there's something coming. So I'm gonna pick Buffalo's Cold over the Miami Heat.
I grew up about 40 minutes south of where they play, and I agree with you, but for this sake, I'm going to take the Heat because when anybody from up north comes down to play in it, the one thing they talk about when they're done, they can't handle the heat. You don't hear people talk about cold after the games. You hear them talk about how hot it is.
I watched last year for the Buffalo game. You can see those players collapsing on the field. It was awesome. They were melting, and the fans were just melting in the stands. That was a huge game.
Round 3. Who should back up Tua? Skylar Thompson or Mike White?
So you want to die poisoned or drowned? You Skylar Thompson or Mike? Don't call me Matt White.
All right, I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna go with the sleeper pick here, not because he's great in the 2022 preseason, but because he almost beat Buffalo in the preseason in that cold. I'm gonna say Skylar Thompson.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna go with Mike White just because I've never been a believer on Skylar Thompson. I'm just not. I've never seen anything from the guy other than one great game in preseason with Sukama. I've never seen anything that could make me believe that Skylar Thompson is going to be a franchise quarterback. There's an ass clown around the web that says Skylar Thompson is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I just don't see it. So I'm going to go with Mike. Don't call me Matt White.
They're backup quarterback for a reason, Sam.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for the post of the week. Give me your post of the week, Steve.
My post of the week, actually, I'm going to have to go back just a little bit further than a week ago to one of my favorite Dolphins of all time, the legend O.J. McDuffie. I'm going to censor myself here. He's in a response to a notorious X/Twitter troll for the Dolphin fans. And he's so the F or we. Change teams if you're not tolerating it anymore. You think they plan on coming up short? They bust their bleeps on and off the field. You have no idea, so shut the hell up, period. My man, O.J. McDuffie, bringing the heat.
Post of the week. It's been deleted, so I'm gonna keep him anonymous. He said, we need to have a serious conversation about Mike White battling for the QB1. He truly outplayed Tua so far at practice. Worst take ever.
Horrible take.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That's proof that some people on the web just trust some bad sources. That's just stupid.
That's W-E-A-K week.
That's the tweak of the week. Steve, I want to thank you. It's been awesome being here with you. Hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Absolutely.
Hopefully
this is great.
I can be more fluid soon. The next time
you're doing fantastically,
Sam. We'll do this the next time we're here. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's a really help our channel. And never forget that when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Thank you. Until next time.
Take care. Fins up.
Fins up.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, We're talking Super Bowl, cause we're the Miami Dolphins.